What else do I know? It's only the computer. The computer is already emitting sound.
Okay, let's zoom.
All right, it's working. Can you guys see this screen? All right. Okay, can hear me? All right, so it's already 7, right? So I'm about to start. So I want to welcome you guys to come. So I hope this will be very interesting. So my idea here is to give you some ideas, things to think of, to reflect. Maybe they can change your mind how you do things in university. Okay? So this can be a very interesting lecture. So I hope all of you enjoy it. Lots of pictures, lots of stories. Okay? I'm recording, so let's see. Just a moment, I have to turn this on here. I need my glasses, sorry. All right, it's working. Can you guys see the screen? All right, so let me turn this off. Okay, so I will start now, okay? So we're going to be talking about not being afraid, okay? So we're going to talk about relationships, how to say no, how to receive a no. We're going to be talking about networking. This is very useful. If you have a higher, big networking, you're going to find a job easier when you finish university. You'll be happier because you have more friends, more people. Networking means your relationship with more people. Also, make the most of your time. I feel sometimes the students are wasting time here. There's so many things that you can do to make the most of your time. Use it well. So you can learn another language. You can make friends. This is, of course, you come here to get a degree. I understand. But you can do so much more than just get a degree. You can make friends. You can learn another language. You can increase your networking. And there's no place on earth that is so easy to do like in university, okay? So if I have to explain a little bit better, for example, improving your relationships and people skills for a better and more successful career. Number two, learn to say and how to take no for an answer, right? So it means have a high standard. Number three, make more friends during your university years. Increase your networking. Number four, make the most of your time here so you will have good memories. Oh, I remember when I was in university, such a good time, right? I make most friends there, so you're happy, right? All right. So I wanted to start to say that that's not my first time. I have done lectures before in China. So this is my first one. As you can see here in the top, right? So my cursor here, this is the date. This is in 2018. December 18. So it's about 7 years ago. So I volunteered to give a lecture. At that time, my lecture was about never stop learning. And it was a similar auditorium like this one, right? So blue seats over there. So I was giving a lecture there. And it was a very nice one. Okay, now I have a question for you guys. Is there any guidelines how to make good friends? So how do you make friends? I know when you come here to the university, they put you in a room. And they put 5 more people together, right? So you become roommates. So you see them every day, you sleep together, so you eat together, you become very good friends. When I go to eat in the canteen, most of our roommates are eating together. And then you can have a bigger circle of friends. You start making friends with your classmates. But most of you stop there. So you don't make friends with people with the other courses. You only make friends with your roommates and classmates. Why not make more friends, right? So that's my question. So I'm going to pose a problem here, okay? So when we have fear, right? When we have fear of something, we stop ourselves from achieving, connecting, and feeling happy. So I'm going to give you an example. So let's say a boy, look a girl, oh, she's pretty, I want to talk to her. But who never felt afraid of being rejected? What if she say no? So you don't want to be rejected. That's why you don't go and not talk to the girl. Most of the time is because you're afraid of being rejected. So who never felt afraid of being rejected? Nobody likes to be rejected. I understand that, okay? But we don't say we are afraid. I'm not afraid. I don't like her. So you don't admit that you are afraid of something. Instead of saying, I am afraid to be rejected, you say, I don't like her. That's why I'm not talking to her. So, but in reality, right, this is the reality. The reality is that we don't want to be rejected. That's why we don't talk to her. It's not because we don't like her. We like her, but we don't talk to her because we are afraid. So, for example, we are afraid to receive that answer. Sorry, I have a boyfriend. We don't want to hear that, right? So I remember a few months ago, I was here in the vacation time. I have a girl, I meet a girl, make friends with her, and she told me, I like this boy. And I asked her, does he know that you like him? And she said, no, I never talked to him. I said, why not? And then, for example, I don't know, maybe he's not gonna like me. And I said to her, don't worry, because if you don't talk to him, the answer is already no, right? So you have to go and talk to him. If he said no, you can move on. So I encouraged her, I talked to her, and she got the courage. And then she went to talk to the boy. And then guess what happened? He rejects her. He said, no, I don't want to date you. And she was very sad. She almost cried. But then she tell me, I said, okay, no problem. 2 months later, she already move on to other things. Because if you not move on, you stay stuck. Oh, he doesn't answer. How long are we going to be waiting? So that's a big problem, okay? So I'm going to talk about how does your fear dress up. For example, it's important to know what fear does to you. If you understand that, you're going to deal with the problem much better. For example, how does your fear dress up? It means what? Because it never shows up as fear, always shows up as something else. It means that when you have fear, it shows up to you as something else. You don't see as a fear. For example, here, you don't see as a fear. Right? You see as I don't want to talk to her. It's not my fear. It is because it is fear showing up as you don't talk, you don't like her. All right? So, okay, so that's a big problem here. So, example, someone is going to ask you a favor. Can you be my best man? Can you talk in my wedding? Right? Can you give a speech in my wedding? You're my best man. Right? So instead of saying you're afraid to speak in public, so you say, you become defensive by saying things like, I'm not good enough, you never asked me before, why now? I don't care, I'm better than this, I don't need to give a speech. So you start to become defensive. Instead of say, I don't like to speak in public, you're afraid of speaking in public. So then you start discussing things that has nothing to do with the subject. The subjects that you are afraid to speak in public, not that you don't like your friend, that you don't care. These are not true, but it shows up as something that is not fear. All right, so that was just an example. Your fear can dress up in many different ways. That is why you need to know how your fear dress up. Because if you understand how the fear shows up to you, you can solve the problem in a much better way. For example, if you know how your fear shows up to you, you can deal with that, okay? And not be a slave of the fear. So in red words there. In other words, how can you solve a problem if you don't understand it? So try to understand how fear shows up to you. Okay, so here's a little bit of science, okay? I'm going to explain. This is a research, a study of fear, okay? Fear has two roads. Here's the first response and the second one. So the first one is the low road. It means automatic, intuitive, primary fear response. Help us survive. Here we have an accident, right? So when you see an accident, now comes the first response. It's automatic. So you hit the brakes. You don't think about it. You hit the brakes, so you don't want to crash into the accident. So after the first response comes the second one. This is the high road, the second fear response. This is called high road. So that's more logical, more thoughtful. Is a secondary fear response. It helps us thrive. So the first one helps us survive. We don't want to crash into the accident, so we'll hit the brakes. The second one is when you start thinking, okay, so I stopped the car, I hit the brakes. Now what should I do? You start thinking, oh, should I go there and offer help? Should I call the police? Should I call the firefighters? What should I do, right, to help? So it could be anything that triggers your fear, right? So if you stay in the first response, and if you don't go to the second one, you're never going to make a smart decision. For example, if people stay in the first response, that's illogical. You can survive, but you cannot thrive to be as best as you can be. Only the second one helps you to be as best as you can be, make smart decisions, okay? So it's important that you understand this concept because I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay, move on. So in the example, we used it before, where you're trying to talk to a girl, you end up not even trying at all. Not because you don't like her, but it's because you're afraid, right? But you convince yourself that you're not interested. Like, she's not pretty, I don't want to talk to her. But in reality, is you're afraid, right? So it kind of how are you going to become good in relationships if you don't know? That's your fear preventing you to talk to her. If you know, that's my fear, I have to do something to become better, right? All right. So next, how do we take control? How do we overcome fear? So that's a big question. If you know how, you will do better, right? Okay. So here's a formula, okay? How can you control your fear so it does not preventing you to become better, to solve your problems, to talk to the girl? I have met so many boys in this school. I'm here 4 years. I eat in the canteen. It's not uncommon. I sit the boys, they tell me, teacher, I'm so shy. Can you help me get a girlfriend? Right? Is that you? Maybe it's you, right? So how can you take control and be able, have courage to go and talk to a girl? We're going to be talking about this. And vice versa, okay? I gave you an example of a girl who's shy to talk to a boy. So vice versa. Okay. Introspection. So introspection is when you look inside of you, okay? The examination, observation of your own mental and emotional process, curiosity instead of judgment. So you're going to build a fear file, right? Information about how you feel the fear, okay? So what is the social triggers? For example, maybe I feel fear when I have to speak in public. For example, if you have to come here and give a lecture, you'll be like this, oh, I don't like it to speak in public. That's your trigger. Or maybe you don't like flirting. You feel fear when you go talk to a girl, oh, I don't know, he's going to reject me. So that's your trigger. So you have to understand what are the things that cause you to feel fear, okay? Okay, and now that you understand what are the things that cause you to feel fear, how they show up. For example, I don't want to talk to a girl. It shows up. You become I don't like her. That's not real. Actually, you like her, but you are afraid of being rejected. So here's an example. Okay. So have anyone skydive? Skydive is this year, right? Have you ever done this? Anyone here? So this is a very dangerous sport. Very, very dangerous, right? So in my city back in Brazil, we have a pilot training enterprise. So they have a parachute skydiving course. I always wanted to do it, but I didn't have enough money because it was very expensive. But one day I will try to do it. But for example, a lot of people feel afraid to jump out of the plane, right? So here, pay attention to this. By not recognizing the first fear response, remember those two roads? So by not recognizing the first fear response, they are not able to reframe their fear. They are not able to get support and reassurance. So let me explain this to you. So people in the ground, right? So they're going to go in a plane, they're going to jump from the plane, okay? So people in the ground who admit I am afraid to jump. So they get support for their classmates, they get support for the teacher, for the coach. Okay, you're going to do fine, I'm going to be with you. Don't worry, okay? We're going to jump together. So those people go there and they jump. But they're always the tough man. No, I'm not afraid. I have courage. I'm not afraid to jump. So they don't recognize, they don't admit they're afraid. So when they're up there in the airplane, they're the ones who hesitate to jump. Do you understand? Because they're not recognizing the first fear response. They say, no, I'm not afraid. And then they go there and they don't jump. But those who are afraid, they tell, I'm afraid. They get the support of people and they go there and they jump. Do you understand? It is important for you to understand and recognize your fear. Okay, next. So name and tame. This is kind of a reframe, okay? So you should give a name to your fear. Let's say, for example, I put it there. Labeling your emotion lessens the psychological reaction in the amygdala, lowering your fear response. So by just giving a name to your fear, you feel less fear. For example, let's say you're afraid to speak in public, like me here, giving a lecture, right? So let's say I am afraid to give a lecture. So and now I go and give a name to my fear. So my fear is called Little John. So today I have a lecture, Little John has come to visit me. So that's my fear, right? So just by giving a name to my fear, I feel less fear. This is one tactic, okay? So all I'm showing here to you guys is research, right? So this is research by Matthew D. Lieberman from the University of Los Angeles, I think, right? UCLA. Okay, so here's a summary, okay? A short summary. So the first thing you need to do is to have clarity. So the anger is showing us fear. So, okay, that's fear, not anger. That's fear. It's not that I don't want to talk to her. So have clarity, understand what's going on. Turns negative self-talk into clarifying. Instead of talking you down, you try to understand. Oh, that's fear. That's not me trying not want to talk to her, okay? So noticing how it cross-dresses. Okay, number 2, rename your fear. In my case, I give you an example here. I call my fear Little John. So today, Little John is here with me because I'm afraid to talk to you, so I'm feeling a little bit afraid. So that's Little John. So just because I give a name, I feel less fear. And the last one here, make love to your fear. So research has shown self-compassion helps take the sting out of the fear. So instead of being judgmental, okay, just have a compassion, right? So everybody has their own fears. Maybe not the same as you, but everybody has fears. So that helps take a sting out of the fear. Okay. I have a challenge, okay? So I proposed this exercise to my students, not here. I was here in China for 7 years. So I was in Juzhou, Huzhou, Jiujiang. So back then I was teaching other topics. But I noticed a lot of people are shy, including me when I came here in China. I was a little shy too. So I came up with this exercise here to help you become less shy. If you want to become less shy, you can try this one, okay? So I came in China as a teacher. I did have no problem speaking, teaching, but I have a little bit shyness when I have to talk to strangers. For example, when I came in China, I didn't approach students to talk to them in the canteen. In classroom, I talk to everybody, like here, I have no problem. I'm a teacher, I have a teaching for 7 years, no problem. But when I go eat in the canteen, so I was a little bit afraid to go and talk to the students. What if they don't speak English? What if they say, no, teacher, I don't understand you. No, go away. Right? No, this seat is for a classmate, not for you. Go away. Right? So I was afraid of being rejected by you guys. I was afraid, right? So and then I find out this exercise, okay? So I did this, so it helps me, so I hope it's going to help you too. So let me explain. So I even wrote a paper about this researcher. So review body language, posture, and exercise called Power Posing Challenge to improve one's confidence. So we will become more confident. If you want to take a look, that's my paper. I published here in China in 2020 in this proceeding of the 5th International Conference of Social Science. Okay, but let's dive into it. So I was reading a lot about improving my social and people skill and decided to do something about it. And then I decided to pass along to my students so they also can learn to overcome their fears. Okay, so in this experiment, I call it power posing, okay? So when you look at the blue letters, okay? When we act like a confident body, when we act confident, the body produces the very hormone who makes us feel more confident. So when you act like you're confident, your body produces this very hormone who makes you feel better. So let me show you here experiment. For example, when you do a power posing position, your body body produces testosterone. This is the confident hormone. This is the good hormone. But it decreases cortisol. This is the stress hormone. So when you act confident, so it produces the testosterone, you feel better. And produces less cortisol. Cortisol makes you feel better. But when you do the lower position, not the power position, lower one, so it increases the bad hormone, increases the cortisol, and decreases the testosterone. So actually, when you act like you're shy, you're afraid, you feel even worse. So just by acting, faking, okay? So let me show you here. So this is a power posing, right? So for example, people here in the bottom, right? They're taking more space. They kind of feel more powerful. And this is the lower position, right? They take less space. So if you look at me right now, so for example, this is a power posing. Right? Power. This is a lower. Oh, I'm afraid, right? No. For example, takes less space, less power. Take lots of space. Power. I'm powerful. Okay? I am the king of the world. So when I do this, I feel more confident. When I do this, I'm afraid. I feel worse. Do you understand? Easy to understand, right? Easy to understand. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. So I did this to challenge my students. I give this as a homework to them. Power posing challenge. Take 3 pictures with strangers in power posing posture. I could not ask you to do something that I wasn't willing to do first. So I asked my students. So now you go and take a picture with a stranger. That's your homework. So if you take a picture, post in the class groups. I want to see your picture. So it has to be a stranger, not your roommate, not your classmate. Go to talk to a stranger, right? And then you post the picture. A lot of students feel, I'm not sure, I don't want to do that. People will say, no, they don't know me, right? But that's the point. You have to do it. So the student starts to doing. So let me show pictures here. So for example, that's me, okay? So before I ask the students to do it, I have to do it myself. How can I ask you to do it if I don't do it myself? So I went to the shopping mall, not in university, okay? University is easy, are you a teacher, right? But in the shopping mall, nobody knows me. So I went to the shopping mall. You can see the background here. This is not a classroom, a lot of stores here. This is a shopping mall. And I start asking, oh, hello, can I take a picture with you? Doing a power posing like this? Some people say no, but lots of people said yes. So I took those pictures, right? So now that I took those pictures, I came back to classroom. See, I did it. So now I ask you to do it, right? Okay, so I did this in Juju. I did this in Jujian. This is in Jujian here, right? So when I was teaching Jujian, I loved Jujian because the university was very close to a mountain. I love mountains. I love to go in the mountain. So I went to the mountain almost every Saturday. So I was trying to do this in the mountains, right? So, for example, this is inside of the university in Jujian, right? So this is inside. This is easy. Because everybody knows that you are a teacher. So everybody would say no to me, right? But even though I got rejected 3 times. So as you can see there, I got rejected by 3 people at this university. But a lot of people said yes. So lots of pictures there, right? And then I went to the students also that I took a picture, they made a post in the chat. So this is the first time I spoke English to a foreigner, and it was because he asked me to take a picture of him. And then with my English, I actually understand his meaning. So it was nice. I get his WeChat, right? I make a new friend. It's easy and nice, okay? So 2 of them posted in the WeChat. Okay, so then I went to the mountain. In the mountain, they don't know that I'm a teacher, so it's harder. But even though a lot of people said yes, a lot of people, even though they don't speak English well, I use the app to translate, I explained to them, and they said, yes, we took the pictures doing power posing. So another one here. So I was under the impression that my students did think that it was easy for me. So most of my students came back to me and said, teacher, it's easy for you. You're a teacher. No, it's easy. You're a foreigner. People don't say no to you. But for me, I'm a Chinese person. I'm normal. People will say no to me, but not for you. So for you, it's easy. I said, no, it's not easy. It's the same for me. It's the same. I'm going to show you why. So because the students never saw me being rejected, they thought it was easy for me. Because, for example, I don't have the pictures with people who say no. They say no, I don't have the picture, right? So I have a cell phone here, right? So let's see, let me show you what I did, okay? So I pick up my cell phone, put it in recording, put it here in front of my pocket, like this, right? And then start recording, right? Put it here, okay. Okay, I put it here in my t-shirt, start recording. And I went to the shopping mall asking people, can you take a picture? A lot of people said no. And then I make a video and post in YouTube. So next time when a student said, oh, people don't say no to you. Yes, they do. You can go and see it. They said no to me. So those girls in the video, they said, no, I don't know you. No, no picture. What are you going to do with the picture? I don't know you. So I got rejected too. I'm not different than you, okay? I'm the same, right? So I got rejected as well. So the video is still in YouTube. You can go there and see it. All right. Because but of course, because I was trying to asking people, I ended up getting many yeses. So there are a few people who said no, but I did get more yeses. People actually saying, yes, we can take a picture, then no's, okay? So this is in the shopping mall as well. All right, truth to be told, I became very good in talking to strangers. Somebody that was shy like me, now I'm becoming very good. Does that not, let's see here, very good did not mean successful all the time. Sometimes people say no, but I become better. I become very good in talking to strangers. For example, these are the things that I said to them. Do you speak English? That's a starter conversation. Why are you going so fast? Wow, I like your dress. Can you help me find the street? Can you help me find the restaurant? I was looking at you from there. And as Miles as well, come here and say hello. So these are the ways that I start talking to strangers, okay? All right, so here are for example, when I start making friends in China, I started liking, oh, my life is good. So I remember when I came here in China, I was shy, I was eating alone in the canteen, I wasn't making friends. But when I start doing this exercise, become more confident, I start making friends everywhere, at the bus stop. For example, this is in Huzhou. This is the line bus 39. So if the person, see, people are making a line to get the bus here, right? So here, nobody beside me. So as soon as somebody approached me, oh, hello, where are you going? So I start a conversation. I don't care if they don't speak English. I start speaking English. If they don't, that's okay. But how can I find out if they don't? If I don't start talking to them, right? So off the bus, inside the bus. For example, I was sitting here in the bus. If somebody sits beside me, I start talking to them, right? Oh, do you have okay, where are you going? So I start talking, get there, we chat, become good friends. Here are pictures of me making friends everywhere. This is in the high-speed train station. I saw those two guys wearing special clothing in China. I didn't know about that clothing. So, this is different. What kind of clothes is this? And they explained to me, oh, this is a hanfu. Oh, so beautiful. Can you take a picture together? And they did. So the man and the girl, very nice. I got their WeChat. I become friends with them. Okay. So this is in the beginning when I was shy. Okay. So you see the corner picture there? I am in the canteen. Can you read the sign? Here the sign. I put it corner. Okay. For example, I put it here. The sign saying, feel free to sit here, looking for friends. So I was shy, I was not talking to anyone, I was sitting alone. But I want to make friends. So I make a sign, put in the table. feel free to sit here. I'm looking to make friends. So students always come up. They stop, they read the sign, but they don't sit with me. I said, what? You don't want to sit here? Nobody sit with me. They stop, they read the sign, but they never sit with me. So that was clearly not working, right? And then a friend told me, you don't wait for them to talk to you. You should take the initiative. You should be the one approaching them, not waiting for them. So I start approaching students. Maybe you have seen me doing this, right? Have you ever seen me in the canteen? Anyone here? Right? So I go to the canteen, what do? I get my dish, and then I start looking, right? Where can I sit, right? So, can I sit here together? Can I sit here and eat together? No. Oh, I'm gonna cry. No. If she said no, I asked the next table. Oh, what about you? Can I sit here? No. What about you? Can I sit here? No. My goodness, 3 no's in a row. So I'm gonna ask my friend here. Can I sit with you? Yes. So I get a yes. So instead of crying when I receive a no, I ask the next table. So I'm going to share an experience. One time I asked a girl, she said no. So I asked the next table, okay? So I asked the next table. So she saw me sitting the next table. And I started having fun. I shared my book with them. And she felt, oh, I missed the guy. I didn't get the book, right? And then by the end of the eating, she said, oh, I apologize. Can I be your friend too? So people, right? Oh, she misses this. She said no. I should have said yes, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. All right, so, and then you can see the other pictures here in the bottom, right? So that's me eating with the students, right? So my life changed for good. So from now on, I'm meeting with a lot of students, make lots of friends. I'm not shy anymore. I'm becoming better to talk to people. I live close to the Midwest canteen. This is in Hojo, okay? So I was going to other canteens. For example, here, I don't eat only in the South canteen. I go to the West one too. Sometimes I go there to make friends there too. All right. So not only inside of the university, right? This is in when I was in Hojo. So I visit the Westlake in Hangzhou, fashion show, city theater, ticket office, arts building, lobby of my apartment, street, library, everywhere I was making friends, right? Not only inside of university, everywhere. So here's an interesting one, right? This girl here in the top corner, the city theater tickets office, she becomes my good friend. And then when she have a nice presentation in the theater, she sent me a message, next week you're gonna have an orchestra. You're gonna watch it? So, and then, next month we're gonna have a cartoon Disney presentation. So it was nice to have her as a friend because she's telling me what's going on in the theaters. So I don't have to go there, right? I have a friend who's telling me, right, about the presentations. That was really nice. Okay, so this is another one. I want to share something about this one, okay? So I was in Metro in Hangzhou. That's not my city. My city was in Hojo. So I went to Hangzhou many times because I have friends there, okay? So I thought that girl, and I put a circle on it, I thought she was pretty nice. I feel like, maybe I want to talk to her, right? But I get doubts. Does she speak English? Should I go there and talk to her? But you have to understand something. I'm not living in Hangzhou. That may be my last chance to see her. If I don't talk to her right now, I may never see her again. So I get the courage, I went there. Hello, I saw you from back there. I think you're pretty, so I want to make friends with you. And she was rude. She was not nice. She rejected me. But that's not a problem, okay? Because now I know the answer. So I can move on. For example, if I was here today and I didn't talk to her, I'll be here thinking, I lose the opportunity. What if I have talked to her? But now I did talk to her. So I know the answer. I know she's not a nice person. She was rude to me. So now I can move on. Now I'm okay. I won't be thinking, oh, what if I have talked to her? Right? So that's important. So you don't miss the opportunities. It's okay when people say no to you. You can move on. Okay. I put a note there, right? I don't date students. That would be very unprofessional. So you're safe. I'll never approach you up. You want to date me? No, because you're students. That would be very unprofessional. But when I go outside, sometimes I see nice, pretty girls. And I talk to them because they're not students here, right? So a lot of people don't do that because they're afraid. And they say, I'm not afraid, I just don't like her. So you're preventing yourself to make more friends, maybe to find your partner. All right, so I'm going to talk about this slide. These are some reasons that you should, why you should talk to someone, okay? The first one, set yourself free from false expectation and imagination. So you don't be thinking, what if she say yes or no? No, go there and talk to her to see if she says yes or no. Don't set yourself false expectation. You deserve to have an answer to what may be in the future. If she said no, you move on, but you deserve that answer. It builds courage and resilience, right? A lot of people don't have courage, but if you start doing, you start having more courage. I give this example everywhere I go. For example, we have here a huge block, right? So if I ask you to run around the block, what's going to happen to your legs? If I ask you to run around the block, so what's going to happen to your legs? Huh? It's going to hurt, right? You're going to be painful, you're going to be tired, and sometimes it's going to hurt your legs. What if I ask you, okay, keep running, tomorrow, after tomorrow, next week, what's going to happen now? It's going to stop hurting, and you grow stronger. Isn't that true? Everything that you keep doing builds, you become stronger. So if you start doing, you have more courage. That's my point. Everything you keep doing, you get better and you get stronger. Okay, next one means you have self-awareness and a true self-respect. Next one is very interesting. It feels good. So when you do something that requires courage, you feel good. That's okay. You can note that, and you may never had another chance. Like this girl here, right? I would never have a chance if I didn't talk to her back then. I may never have a chance again. All right. So when you persist in doing something, that thing becomes easier to do. And that's because your capacity to do increased and you become better. So running the block, you become stronger. That's my point. Okay, so now I want to show something. That's me and my dog. My dog is already died, so the dog was with me for 14 years. This is a picture I was taken in Canada. So I love to take my dog to walk, and I take her to the park to swim with the ducks. So you can see there, my dog, when he jumps in the water, he goes after the ducks. He's pursuing the ducks. So what the ducks are going? They're going away, right? So my dog's after the ducks, but the ducks is going away, right? So I wanted to pay attention there, right? Because sometimes that happens to you as well. I wanted to apply the same principle in the next slide. When you're trying to make friends, don't beg, okay? For example, when you go and talk to a girl, oh, can I sit here to have lunch together? I'm here in the canteen, I have my dish. Can we eat together? Please, can I eat here, please? For example, don't beg. Don't beg. If she say no, go to the next person, right? For example, when I'm begging, it's like my dog pursuing the ducks. So when I'm begging, the ducks are going away. If I beg to her, she's gonna go away from me. That's my point. Don't beg. Go to the next person, okay? So, for example, now let me show you. This is very interesting. So this is the next picture. When I call my dog, okay, time to go home. Come back, Umber, let's go home. So my dog is swimming towards me, right? We're gonna go home. So what's happened to the ducks? The ducks are not going away anymore. The ducks is following her. Can you believe it? The ducks are following my dog now. So when you bag people, they go away. When you don't bag, they pursue you. Do you understand the principle? Yes? That's a powerful principle, okay? All right, so remember, you have to take the initiative, not beg. Initiative is instead of waiting here with a sign, please sit here, make friends with me. No, I take the initiative. I get my dish. Can I sit here? This is me taking the initiative, okay? Asking her. So when I do this, it shows a few things. I show I like you. I think you're pretty. I would enjoy eating together. So I'm taking a lot of respect, showing respect for her. So I want to eat with you. So that's initiative, but don't beg. Please don't do this, right? Don't beg, right? So if you beg, they go away. If you don't beg, they might come back to you, okay? So, all right. Okay, I want to give you another example here, okay? This has happened also in, let me see, Hujo. This has happened in Judah. I was making a good friend with a university student, okay? And she was becoming a good friend. She practiced English with me. So, and as you know already, I went a few times to Hanjo, right? And she also was going to Hanjo because she was going to take an English test there. And I find out that she was going to Hanjo. I said, oh, maybe we can go together, right? So maybe we can go together, we go speaking English, you can practice English with me. And she said, yes, I'd like to go together with you, okay? So this is what happened, right? I thought that it was nice, we can go together and she can get practice English with me for free as we go into Hanjo together. But this has happened, right? So she messaged me, I went to catch the bus, and she wasn't there. There was a misunderstanding, so I catch the bus alone. So I messaged her, oh, I thought you were gonna be here in the bus station, but she wasn't. And she said, no, sorry, I made a mistake. Yes, I wasn't there, but we can't get together. We can still go together. So I was, then my next steps waiting her in the subway station, right? And then I was waiting, the train's about to depart, and then I messaged her, where are you? The train's about to depart. And she told, oh, I'm already in the train. What? So she dumped me 2 times in the bus, and I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I gave her another chance. And she dumped me again. That's not nice, right? So, and then I stopped talking to her. I said, okay, you go, do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. For example, I was getting my activity late to be able to go with her. I also bought my ticket to come back later to be able to come back with her. So I was kind of trying to adjust my schedule so I would be able to go with her. And she said, and she dumped me 2 times. Sometimes what I'm saying is it's better to get a no than a dishonest yes. She would save me time if you said no. Because I was wasting my time waiting for her. I was losing my activity with my friends because of her. If she said no, okay, no problem. I go to enjoy my activity. But she made me waste my time. So sometimes when you hear no for a person, that's not all bad. Because they're showing respect to give you the answer. Okay? So honest, yes. Right? A dishonest, yes. Right? No is better than a dishonest yes. That's my point. I hope you understand that, right? So no sometimes is a sign of respect and consideration. Okay, so, and then I noticed, oh, she's not my friend anymore, right? She dumped me, she lied to me. I was in the bus, no, I wasn't. So I stopped talking to her, right? So I would rather spend time with people who want to be with me, right? So I stopped talking to her, okay? So I never spoke to her again. So that's when this is happening, right? Why do you want to spend time with someone who does not appreciate your company? So why do you want to spend time with people who doesn't like you? Don't chase after the ducks, right? If you chase, they go away. So I stopped chasing her, right? So Do the opposite. Spend time and energy with ones who appreciate you. And your company, your experience will be much better. Do you understand? All right. So because I dumped her, right? I said, okay, you do your thing, and then I come back without her, right? So I make 3 new friends when I was coming back from Huzhou. So I wasn't with her, so I make friends in the train station, in the bus, in the metro. I made 3 new friends in Hangzhou. 2 months later, she noticed that I stopped talking to her, and she asked me, teacher, why did you stop talking to me? And I said to her, I have much better friends. You dumped me, you lied to me. So of course I would stop talking to you, right? Because I have better friends. They don't lie to me, they like to be with me, and you don't. So I stopped and let you be free of me, right? You don't like me. And then she, oh, sorry, I really did bad with you, right? So she's apologized. She kind of, oh, I really wanted to be your friend. Can you give me another chance? So don't beg for people. Okay, another experience. Now I'm going to change in topics, okay? So I talk a lot about increasing networking, relationships, right? So now let's talk about giving a no as an answer and receiving a no. We're already touching that subject. Sometimes you have to say no to defend your values, and that may be hard sometimes. So, but don't be afraid to say so, especially if it was for your benefit. So that picture, I only have this one picture. So this was in Juzhou. So I got there, I was a new teacher. There's a lot of other foreign teachers there. They're hanging out every 15 days. And then one of them, oh, teacher, do you want to hang out with us? And I thought, oh, okay, it was nice. So I would hang out with the older foreign teachers, right? So they went to this bar, and then I went there together with them, and they start drinking alcohol, beer, wine, right? I was the only one who was not drinking. So what happens when people drink too much alcohol? What happens? They drink too much beer. What happens? Huh? Yes, they start getting high, right? They start saying things that they shouldn't say. They start saying bad things, right? So if they drink too much, they vomit, right? Next day, they don't remember what happened, right? So I was the only one who was not drinking. So I said, I'm going to the restaurant, okay? And then I never came back. So I went back home. So I never went out with them again because there's not the company that I want to, because I don't drink. I don't drink and I don't smoke, right? So I'm nothing against foreigners, okay? I'm a foreigner, nothing against them. But those are they are doing things that I didn't like it, so I didn't go with them again. So here's what the alcohol do to you, okay? For example, this is a lung. If you smoke, your lung's gonna be like this. Do you know that? Some students are smoking here, right? So you're making a decision that's gonna affect your future. Do you really want it to be this? So my grandfather died of throat cancer because he smoked too much. So when I saw my grandfather dying for having a cancer for smoking too much, I decided that's not gonna be me. I'm never gonna smoke. And I never did in my whole life. Also, never drink. For example, if you're drinking too much, right, besides not remembering, saying bad things, vomiting, your liver is gonna be like this. I don't want my liver to be like this. I want to live healthy, longer. Okay? So that's my opinion. So, okay, so for example, I'm talking about saying no, right? If it's your value, don't worry, say no, defend your values, okay? Okay, the next slide is the one I posted. So when I went to Hangzhou that time, when I was going to go with my friend who ditched me, so I was going to meet another type of foreign friends. I did have foreign friends there. So those foreign, you can go to my WeChat and still see that post, right? So I was going there, and I had a nice weekend in Hangzhou. No one needed to smoke or drink to enjoy the fun. Just clean and pure fun. I ended up making 3 new friends when I was coming back, right? Going to Lucky Day. I even won an Oscar for a movie production. I participated with activities with them. So here was me with my foreign friends in Hangzhou, having a talent show. So people playing music, doing sketches, kids presentations, right? So then after that we have food, good food, but nobody there was drinking, nobody there was smoking. So it's a clean, nice fun, very nice. That's why I like to spend time with you guys. For example, if you notice, if you invite me, I go out with you, I go to activities with you, I eat in the canteen with you, because usually students have nice and clean fun. Usually you don't drink, usually you don't smoke. Few students do, but most of you don't. That's why I love spending time with you guys. That's why I'm doing this activity here. I volunteer, I want to give you back some insights, things that you can do to become better. So I love my job in China. It's much more than the money. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I just love you guys. I really love you guys. Okay. Next. So in short, be careful because you may find what you're looking for. So you're making decisions in your life, and those decisions are directing you to arrive in some place. If you're making good decisions, you're going to be in a good place in the future. If you're making a bad decision, you're going to be in a bad place in the future. And you cannot blame anyone because you are the one making the decisions in your life. Okay? So let me share another real story to illustrate the importance of values and high standard living. Okay? So this is another story. I told you there will be lots of stories today, right? So this guy here is his name is Herbert J. Grant. He was a businessman, okay, and he had lots of business, but he was a very honest person, very very honest. He never tricked somebody into a business in a bad deal. He's very honest. People trust him. Right? Honest is very interesting. Honesty is a very interesting thing because it's hard to build on. It's hard to make people trust in you. But it's very easy to lose the trust. If you lie one time, you're going to lose the trust. But you have to work hard to earn the trust. Okay? So when he got old, right, he's kind of about to retire from his business. He was called to be a leader in his church. And one of his old friends from the business time wrote this letter to him. So pay attention. I'm going to not read everything. So he said, never thought very much of the leaders of the Mormon people. In fact, they were very keen, bright, designing lots of fellows, getting rich from the tithes that they gathered from a lot of ignorant, superstitious, overzealous religious people. But now that you are one of them, one of the 15 men ahead of the Mormon church, I have to apologize for the other 14. Because of him, his friend changed his perspective of the whole institution because he was honest. He said, I know that if there were anything crooked in the management of the Mormon church, you would give it away. You would not be a leader because you are honest. So now that the man started changing his opinion about the church because, there's a good man in there. So I trust him, I know him. He would not be there if the church was bad. So, okay, that's an example. You can be that kind of person, right? People can trust in you, so that's hard to achieve. So I want to have another example here. This is back in Brazil. I was a teacher in Brazil as well. So this is in 2002, Unipar University in my city. So I was teaching like a class of 50 students. I give them a test. They did a test. I collect the test. So next class, I give the test back to them. I didn't correct the test. I said, okay, so here are the right answers. So please correct your test yourself. So for every right question, you put 1 point. And then you tell me your grade. So a lot of students saw an opportunity. I have to dictate my own grade, so I'm going to increase a few points, right? So a lot of students are increasing their points. Only 3 students did not increase. Only 3 students were honest with me. So next week I put copies that I make of the test, I correct the copies. So I knew only 3 students are honest. And I tell them, okay, only the 3 of you can ask me a recommendation letter because all the others are dishonest. How can I give a recommendation letter if you're dishonest? So everywhere there are honest and dishonest people. Please be the one that are honest. Okay? So I tell you this example in Brazil because I don't want to tell you that we are better. No, nobody's better than anyone. Okay? But I have seen from 7 years in China, people are doing nasty things. For example, the other week I was there in the English corner in the three trees, right? So there's a big rock there, right? So there's one student behind that rock, right, like this. And then when they said a name, he said Dao. And then the next name, he said Dao again. So he answered the attendance for his classmate. This is dishonest. Don't do that. Don't be a person that people cannot trust in you. Remember, you are the one making the decisions of your life. You want to be in a good place or a bad one? Because if I know you did this, I cannot recommend you to have a good job. I would not give you a good recommendation letter because this is dishonest, right? All right. Next, let's see what's next. Okay, we're getting close to the end, okay? So if you're tired, don't worry. So we're getting close to the end. We already talked about people skills. We talk about saying no, receiving no. We talk about increasing more friends, networking. Now let's talk about making the most of your time here so you will have good memories in the future, okay? So, okay, let's go to the last topic. Okay, so as I told you, this is not my first time. I give a lecture. This is the first one, right? So the first one, my first year, I was doing this lecture in December. So usually January is a vacation time, right? Winter vacation, right? So this is the lecture over there. Just similar here. The auditorium is very similar here. And okay. So when I give a lecture, this was in the chemistry building, okay? For example, here is the architecture building, right? So that was the chemistry building. So the person who opens the auditorium for me was the head of the chemistry department. This guy here, Mr. Thompson. So Mr. Thompson was the director of the chemistry department. See, he opens the door, he sits in the corner, he watches my presentation, and after the presentation, he came and talked to me. Oh, I like your presentation. So your English is good. So are you going to travel in January in the winter vacation? I said, no, I'm going to stay here. I would not travel. And then he proposed me. Would you be willing to teach my daughter English? I said, yes, I'll be happy to. So I was teaching her daughter and her cousins. Okay, so that's her daughter, right? Cynthia, her daughter. And then he provided me a class with a computer, and these are her cousins, right? So I have 10 kids teaching English for 10 days in January. So from 10 a.m. to midday. So I was having fun with the kids, practicing English with them, telling stories, helping with grammar, having fun with them. After the class finished, midday, the parents came to pick up their kids and we had lunch together. So it was really nice. Really, really nice. I really enjoyed that. Okay? But that's not the best part. So what happened in February? So you have a special holiday in February. What's it? What is it? What's your special holiday in February? Huh? Anyone? What's your holiday in February? Spring? Spring Festival, yes. So the best thing was to happen. For example, I want to show you here. So this is me having lunch after the class, right? So after the class, we had lunch with the parents, right? Okay. So, but this is the Spring Festival. So each family of those kids, they propose me, they invite me to spend Spring Festival together. So they invite me to celebrate Spring Festival with their families. So Monday, one family come and pick me up. We had lunch together. We play games in the afternoon. We watch movies. And we have dinner together. They brought me back home. Tuesday, another family come and pick me up. Have lunch together. We walk in the park. And then we have dinner together. They brought me back home. Wednesday, another family. Thursday, another family. Friday, another family. 5 days spending Spring Festival with a Chinese family. That was awesome. That was my best Spring Festival ever. And that happens because I volunteered. If I didn't volunteer, I would not met Mr. Thompson. I would not teach her daughter. I would not have the best Spring Festival ever. So volunteering is a good thing. And I saw many of you do volunteering job. That's a good thing. So this is me, right? Having those dinners, spending time with those Chinese families. Very, very nice. So right now I talk about all the topics, right? So please keep doing volunteering job. That's how you get more opportunities, right? To serve your fellow citizens, to meet more people, to do good things. And good opportunities will come from the volunteering jobs that you do. So my best Spring Festival is because one day I volunteered to give a lecture. So that was really nice. Okay, we're getting to the end here. Okay, I have one more story. This is a real story about the King Louis XVI of France, okay? I hope this story will inspire you. Many years ago, I heard the story of the son of the King Louis XVI of France. King Louis had to be dethroned and taken to the Bastille. This is a political prison. So the revolutionaries took the prince, his son, and took him to another place. Even though he was the heir to the throne, they thought of if they could morally destroy him, he would never know the great and remarkable destiny that the life has prepared for him. So he was going to be a king, next king, right? So, but the enemies wanted to destroy him morally. See, he would never be the king. So they carried him to a distant city, where they left the boy exposed to the most defeating things the world could offer. They made him enjoy delicacies whose refinement would soon make him a slave to the appetite. Those who live around them use the lowest language possible, and they force him to live with obscene and depraved women. They expose the boy to disgrace and dishonesty. Day and night, he was surrounded by the most terrible circumstances that could drag a man's soul to the worst level of degradation possible. The prince received this treatment for more than 6 months, but not once he did give in to the pressure that was imposed upon him. Finally, after exposing him to all kinds of temptation, his captors inquired why he had refused to give in to his appetites and had not participated anything they offered to him. They were things that would give him pleasure, and they were within reach. The young man replied, I cannot do as I'm asked because I was born to be a king. I believe each one of you were born to do great things in life. Each one of you can do great things in life. But remember, you are the one making decisions for your life. For example, if the prince give in, do bad things, he'll never become a prince. So he knew he has a good future if he make good decisions in life. So do you. So my plea today during this lecture is you have to choose who you're going to be, right? Are you going to be an honest person? Are you going to be hardworking? So a lot of girls tell me, teacher, how can I know if a boy is a good boy? So they're afraid to get married, to marry a bad boy. So when you date him, pay attention to what he does. For example, if a student sits in the front of the class, participates, has good grades, volunteers, so do you think he's going to be successful in life? Yes. But if a student sits in the back, play games all the time, get late to school, don't do the homework, do you think he's going to be successful? See? So you are the one making the decisions for your life, right? So you cannot blame, I had bad teachers. No, you are the one making the decision where you want to be, right? So make good decisions so you'll be in a good place. All right, so I think this is the end. Yes, this is the end. So do you guys like this lecture?
Yes.
I have one more story. Do you want to hear it? Okay, that's the last one, okay? And that's a very good one. Very good. Okay? Very good, and it's a true story, okay? It's a true story. I read about it, and I'm going to share with you. It's a true story. Maybe it's going to inspire you, okay? So let's go to the last one. All right. So there is a place. This is Hawaii, okay? So Hawaii is a set of islands, right? So it's one more true story about love, okay? The village is the site of a former settlement for people with leprosy. Do you guys know what leprosy means? Does anyone know what leprosy means? It's a disease. Do you know? It's a very nasty disease. Today we know the cure, but back then they didn't know the cure. So your skin gets nasty, some skin that falls off, you get the face deformed, you become very ugly, so it's a very nasty disease. So at Speke, for example, this is a place they call Kalapapa. It's the city there, a small village, Kalapapa. So at Speke, about 1,200 men and women and children were exiled to Kalapapa Peninsula. The isolation law was enacted by the King Kamehameha V and remained in effect until the repeal in 1969. So this is from Wikipedia, okay? So exile is the people put them away. So they don't meet other people. All the people with leprosy go to that place. This is an exile. Okay, Kalapapa was a place back in 1860s where people with leprosy were exiled. They were forced to go there. They didn't want to go there. They are forced to go there. It was very primitive, a place with few resources. People were sent there to die, just waiting for death to come. They're sick, they're going to die there. Just a few remedies, food, or even homes for shelter. So is there currently a warning in the site? Kalapapa already was a place for exile for leprous people. Being exiled here means you will never see your parents, siblings, children, or wife again. So once you go there, you're not going to see your parents, wife, children again. Some people of their own free will were willing to go there with their family, being also exiled to help them and serve on the island. They were called kokuas. So kokuas are people who are, I'm going to go there. I cannot send my wife and be here. So they were going there to help their family, right? So it's very hard to see families being split, right? So some people go there to help their families. So only such an approach already suggests a great act of love. Today, this place is a historic site open to visitors. So you can go there now and see to visit the place. There were about 8,000 people buried there. Imagine families who have gone through these circumstances to choose whether they would go or not go together when one of her had to be taken to this exile. Records show that even children aged 10 and 12 were exiled in this place with leprosy. In a book about Hawaii, James A. Michener describes such a situation where people were brought to the docks, often accompanied by guards. People were placed in cages because many of end up jumping in the sea, trying to escape the journey. They want to come back. They don't want to go there. They put them in cages. Finally, the captain said, "Kokuas on board." The book then goes on to describe some of the scenes, even very difficult to imagine. People crying, waved, saying goodbye to their family at a time when they would be deciding where or not to climb aboard. From Michener, within the crowd waving, there appear a dozen people, men and women, all very similar, were their volunteers, helpers. A strange group of people who lived until the beginning of the past century in Hawaii Island. That with this attitude prove the word love has a tangible reality. When these helpers arrive on board, the police ask carefully, "Are you sure that you want to go to the leprosy? Volunteer from the leprosy colony?" A man said, I'd rather go to the leper colony with my wife to stay here than to stay here without her. So it is worth mentioning that as a person was exiled in the Kalapapa, the spouse was receiving an automatic divorce from the state. So the author of the book concludes, why a man in a good health volunteered himself to go to a leper colony with a leprosy-affected woman? So the question like this, to a question like this, there is no answer but only a single word, love. I wanted to finish here telling a story of one of those Kokuas. So his name was Jonathan Apella and his wife Kitty. So Jonathan Apella and Kitty were sent to that location because Kitty got leper. So Jonathan, her husband, said, no, I cannot leave my wife going there alone. I'm going together with her, right? So only Kitty has the disease, but Jonathan would not let her go alone in the island. Later, Jonathan also was sick, and his wife Kitty survived him, being a helper to him. So he was hardly recognizable at the end of his life. Remember, the leprosy deformed your body. People would not recognize him anymore. Jonathan Apella went through this experience when he was arriving in Kalapapa. They tried to make him give up, but his reply was that he would leave his wife alone. And in the end, she was the one serving him as a helper. So she was a Kokua to him. So that's my family. I put here a picture of my family, right? So in the top corner, that's my father. My father got married to my mom. So that was about, almost 60 years ago, okay? My father and my mom was just like Jonathan and Kitty Napella. They love each other. So when my mom married my father had nothing. My father has no university degree. My father has no money. My father has nothing. My father has nothing. So when my mom said, oh, I still marry you. So my father knew that my moms love him, right? And then they married. My father was a good man. You can see a good man, right? So he was the one working hard and being honest, right? So he becomes successful. He graduates from university. He starts his own company. He makes a lot of money. So he died 2 years ago. So my brothers and I, we share some part of the inheritance. We receive money, right? Because my father died. And my mom is still alive. So my mom is still good. But my point is, right? So I want to, why am I telling you this, right? Because here in China, not only here in China, everywhere, so couples are not staying together anymore. Your generation don't want to get married. So I ask a lot of people, not only girls, boys too, people don't want to get married. They want to stay alone. Do you feel like staying alone is the better? So human beings are social creatures. So maybe you have to think about this, right, for yourself. Are you lying to yourself? Are you afraid to make friends? Are you afraid to get married?
Is that it? For example, I used to tell this to every student. If you have a talk to me in the canteen, I will tell you this, right? So life is here in the middle. So if you marry the wrong person, life is going to be worse. But if you marry the right person, life can be so much better, right? So, and I think I can understand why.
So people like you, right, give me a lot of reasons, right? Is it expensive to get married? Is it expensive to get kids, right? We lose our freedom, etc. That's what's the point of getting married if you end up like me? So a lot of you know that I'm divorced, right? I divorced 11 years ago. So my wife kisses another man. Now she asks me divorce, and she's married to the other man. So that didn't work out for me, right? So I'm sad, but I'm saying nothing is 100% guaranteed. But if you make a good decision, you will end up in a better place. So my point is this. So next slide here. What I'm going to say now, I don't have to prove to anyone because deep down I know that it's true. So you know either that is true. As part of the human species, we are not meant to be alone. We are social creatures. We are not meant to be alone. So loneliness is a depression, is a sickness. In Japan, people are dying alone. They don't leave their room. So parents are feeding, they're playing computers all day long. They don't go out. They're depressed. Sometimes they die. People die alone. So do you know when they discover that they die? When they start thinking. Nobody knows that they're dying. So when they start thinking, oh, somebody's dead in this home. So that's how they find out. That's not a good way to live, believe me. Okay, so next year. So I'll finish with this, right? This is the last slide, okay? This is research, right? The 5 most common regrets people have at the end of their lives, witnessed by a nurse. So usually when people are at the end of their life, they go to a hospital, right? They're gonna die soon, right? They ask people 5 questions. So here are the answers, right? Number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expect of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Notice, nobody said, I wish I had worked more hours. Nobody said, I wish I stayed in the office more time. They're talking about missing relationships. They're talking about not being alone. Friends, right? Stay with friends, express feelings. So what does make us happy is good relationships. A lot of people misunderstand, money makes us happy. So I understand money is important. I'm here in China because I want to make money. Make no mistake about it, okay? So I had a better offer, make more money in China, and came here to make more money in China. But I know, for example, I saw my father die. My father was a successful man. He has a lot of money, but the money he could not take with him. The money stayed here, right? So what makes us happy is a good relationship. Money makes our life easier, right? You can buy vacations, you can have a comfortable life, makes life much easier, but not happier. So I wish today that I give you a lot of things to think about it, right? So if you're being dishonest, if you're planning to stay alone your whole life, this is something that you should be thinking about. Do you want to end or are you going to? Right now I'm going to this direction. If you don't change, you're going to end up there. If you want to be there, you better change the direction, make better decisions. So I don't mean to give you the right or wrong answers. I just want to make you think, right? So university time is an amazing time. You can do so much more than just getting a degree. So you can learn another language, you can make friends, you can improve your social skills, increasing networking, so many things that you can do. So I hope you enjoyed my lecture. I was very happy to be volunteer and give this lecture. Thank you very much. Okay, that's the last one. You're smart, capable of making good decisions. Okay, that's the last one. You're smart and capable of making good decisions. Be the best as you can be. Good luck.
No.
Yeah, this is too much, right? Okay. I want to cut the paper here. So, yeah, you
Okay,
yeah, you
okay.
can, yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking putting like here.
Okay.
Yes, you guys want to watch it tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yes, November 14th, in the building 8, right? Building 8 over there.
Okay, okay.
Oh, this is a lecture tomorrow. Tomorrow you can take it off.
教学楼不许你贴这个啊。Hello.
Hello. Hello?
你好，
Hello?
嗯，
Put it this. Here.
这能贴贴这啥呀？
Huh?
这啥？
Yes, I noticed, right? For the students.
贴这干啥？
For the students.
啊？
For the students.
啥？
A lecture for the students.
啥呀？
Yes, I'm
听不懂，
gonna.
听不懂，听不懂。听不
Yes,
懂
this is for the.
听不
Put
懂，
it.
听不懂。这不可以贴，这是那个领导让贴才能贴，你这你不能贴，
Is it?
这不能贴，
Is it a place to
不可
put
以，不可
notice?
以，不可以，
Oh, okay, just
不
no.
可以
Okay,，
你先拿起来吧，拿起来吧。
okay, just a moment. Okay. Thank you. 谢谢. Okay, so they'll probably give you this already, right?
Yes, I'm sorry I didn't reply to you.
No, that's
Yesterday
okay. That's okay.
I
I'm
was
just
busy
inviting
something
everyone.
else, forget that.
No,
Sorry.
no worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. Okay.